Hey guys, how's it going? This is Marksman Trading. Welcome to our day trade recap. Today we are down 245 on the day, so not a good start to the week. Let's get into what happened. So first off, we took 3 trades today, all red. I think they were in even green for a second. So 2 trades with edge, 1 trade was without edge. So the first trade we took here was near open. We took it at, let's find the 1 minute. We took a higher low. On the NQ, we took 2 MNQ contracts, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 2 MNQ contracts, got filled at 15835.25 at 9:43 in the morning, and we stopped out where this dashed yellow line is at 9:44 at 15. Sorry, we bought them at 15860, and we ended up selling it for a stop loss at 15835.25. So yeah, not a good start to the day. We sized up today too. We're risking 75 bucks per trade now because we've been having a lot of consistency lately. So we flushed from, what time do we flush from? Since like 8:15, we just flushed all the way back down. Then we can kind of consolidate at open, hit this demand zone, which is based off of the hourly chart. As you can see here, one of like Vincent Desiano's levels, I'm pretty sure. His is a little different. I drew mine a little bit wider as one, but I think he has 2 separate demand zones right here. But this is the demand zone I'm looking at. We came down below pre-market low, which is this, or sorry, not pre-market low, yesterday's low, which is the pink dashed line. We consolidated there, and then the ES was moving up. I saw the ES was moving up from open. As you can tell, ES came down to previous day's low, and then ripped up from open. So I was figuring NQ was maybe lagging. The reason why I took this trade is it was a higher low right here after this 942 green engulfing candle. I'll also explain a few reasons why it wasn't a very good trade. But we consolidated. We had this higher low kind of form. We had, what was it, a 5-minute demand line? Yeah, 5-minute demand line in this first trade. Kind of was not super strong because it was red during 9:30 and 9:35. But it was a 5-minute demand line from pre-market. So hoping it would respect that. It was also above pre-market highs, which was, where was that? Oh, I don't have that on here actually. Gotta fix that. But pre-market high was 9:30, or sorry, pre-market low was right here. So I'll put that on there just to show. So yeah, it was above this demand zone, pre-market lows. So we had 2 key levels it was holding. Left a higher low after this green engulfing candle, which is what I look for a lot. Close above the 20, actually no, below the 20, but above the 9. And then I was going to take the retest candle back into it, but it got filled very high with 2 MNQ contracts, and then got stopped out on a flush back down. So yeah, I was playing that 5-minute demand line. What I did wrong here was I failed to consider this lower high right here at 9:38, 9:39. And so failing to consider that, and these supply lines up here as well, I got so like kind of tunnel vision based on this 1-minute price action from that 942 candle. And so taking it right there was not a good idea. I was just expecting it to hold, which, you know, it was kind of my edge, so I'm still happy I took it and remained disciplined. I probably shouldn't have taken it. So that was the first trade. Not an awful start, but and I lost like 100 bucks on the trade because I was slightly oversized. It was like, you know, I had to risk 0.16 MNQs or 0.16 NQs, so I took 2 MNQ contracts, which was a bit sized, more than risking $50 or $75 per trade, but you know, that's all right. That happens. So that was an acceptable loss. And the second loss was unacceptable. It didn't meet my 3 criteria for my edge. It had the demand zone, and it had the price action. It had this higher low right here, kind of basing its demand zone. We had this engulfing candle again at 10 o'clock. I think we had some news come out. What news was that? Let me double check. It was factory orders. So that news came out. We had a nice engulfing green candle closing above the 20 and the 9 EMA in the 1 minute. I took the pullback into it, but then I had a a tighter stop loss than usual. So this is where I screwed up 2 times today. First off, I shouldn't have taken this trade because there was no demand line. The only demand line was this 5-minute demand line, as you can see, but it turned into supply. It went from green to red, so where this blue arrow is, in that 10 o'clock candle, in the 5-minute, I took it below it. So actually it was had extra resistance up there when I took it. So that was the third criteria. That wasn't met. There was no demand line. Price action was there. Demand zone was there. And then another way I screwed this up was my stop loss. I usually put it to like the most recent pivot. So that would have been low of day around 9:51. So the stop loss should have been like 15822.75, but I have my stop loss to the low of this higher low pivot from 10 o'clock, so 15829.25. As you can see, that was my dashed yellow line right there. I barely got stopped out, and then it went 1R. So actually, it should have been a green trade on a trade I shouldn't have taken, but because I used a wider stop loss, or tighter stop loss than I should have, that didn't work either. So I screwed myself over 2 ways in this trade, so that was not good. So that was the second trade I took. And then I was like trying to manage my emotions because I was kind of getting a bit frustrated. This is like the first solid red day I've had in a long time, almost a month now. Especially since I shouldn't have even taken that trade, but I did. And so we flushed down through this demand zone, and then we also rejected previous days lows as well. Never got above it. My initial plan was to wait for it to confirm a higher low above this, kind of get out of this chop and stuff like that. But I've just been like, I don't know, I would just felt like I needed to take a trade this morning, and that was not a good emotion to have. So I definitely, and I had 1 minute supply lines forming as well. So definitely going against the trend there, and I got burned doing that. And then it flushed down, we moved to another demand zone, which this is where I screwed up again today, is I didn't take a trade this demand zone, even though we had a 5-minute demand line, we had a 15-minute demand line over here, and we actually V-shaped from it, but I wasn't able to capitalize it on it at all, because my demand zone, for whatever reason, I caught this later on than usual, but this demand zone right here was lower, like almost halfway lower than what it should have been. I had it at like 15,700, but I looked back and I realized I was trying to draw it from this pivot right here, so it should have been 15,720. I had it 15,700 starting, and so that caused me to not take a trade because I was trying to respect my edge, because I screwed up already this morning. But drawing it correctly, I saw that it did come down to a demand zone after this huge flush, but I wasn't able to take a trade off of it because it was too late now. But that would have worked this higher low right here around 1113, or even taking it at 1106 from this higher low. And this higher low right here is almost more of like an inverse head and shoulder. It's got left shoulder, right shoulder, and the head. So that would have been solid. We had 2-minute demand line, kind of supply, kind of demand. And we had 5-minute demand line, 15-minute demand line. We had hourly demand forming, wasn't straight yet. 30-minute demand forming, wasn't straight yet. I saw hourly demand flash for a second, but it went away. But that would have been a solid trade, but unfortunately I missed that as well. And then the last trade of today was an exhaustion play, which I haven't taken in a long time because I haven't had too many like short opportunities like that. So this was another acceptable loss. This one was okay to lose on. We moved up from this consolidation. We moved straight up into the low end of this consolidation from earlier, and in this kind of demand turn supply now. And so that was 2 criteria, or sorry, that was 1 criteria, and then the exhaustion pattern was the second criteria. The third criteria was the 2-minute supply line and 5-minute supply line. As you can see, we were between the 20 EMA and the 9 EMA on the 15-minute. So I guess based off of that, we were kind of like in the middle of this zone, of this level to move back lower. But I was just trading my edge, We flattened out, had a hard time getting above this 15,826 level, which was that line I drew from the low end of this consolidation. I had my stop loss. I was waiting for it to close below 9 EMA just to confirm that the momentum from going back up was lost. Because even looking at the 5-minute, you can see we had almost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 green candles up with one small kind of like red doji, barely. And so I was expecting more of a pullback, a deeper pullback, maybe back into like the 9 EMA and the 5-minute, but it just kept on ripping. So we eventually did close below the 1-minute 9 EMA with a topping tail at 1210. We had a kind of wick tops here at 11:59, 12 o'clock, 12:06. This pop got flushed back down, and then we had a topping tail here at 12:10, and we closed below 9 EMA. So I shorted 4 MNQ contracts with a stop loss above the highs right here, which is this yellow dashed line. I got filled at 15.822 with a stop loss at 15.831.25, and I got filled on the stop loss at 15.832.25. So an acceptable loss. There was demand lines forming, so maybe I should not take trades if there's like short-term demand going against my thesis. But I don't want to overcomplicate this. We had 2-minute supply, we had 5-minute supply. We had all the criteria for my edge was met. And unfortunately, that hit my max stop loss in the day, which is 3R. If I lose more than 3R, then I just call it a day. I don't trade anymore. So yeah, tomorrow will be better. We'll stay more disciplined, stick to our edge, take our edge once presented, make sure our supply and demand lines are drawn correctly. And yeah, that'll be about it. I hope you guys had a fantastic trading day today, and I will see you later. God bless. Peace.